I just watched the amazing Digital Circus movie, so I'm going to get into some spoiler stuff right now. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Was it as good as it could be? No. But I really liked it. I mean, for me, I've seen over 2,500 animated series and movies. Yeah, essentially, I'll just say the biggest thing that I think it could have done better was at the end when Kane comes back and is wanting to use his power and allowing them to use theirs as well, to become friends and become more human and come around to his senses and let go of some of the things that made him who he was throughout all the other episodes. I think at that point is when something should have been switched around and added. So at a certain point, Pomni goes and shoots out the lights to talk with Jax, the way in which she talked with Kinger, and then how Kinger was talking with his wife in the dark for a little bit, is what she did for Jax to get into his mind, and she essentially, the abstractions just allow you to go into their being, their consciousness or something, and she got to see the different sides of Jax and why he's very closed off and did a bunch of fucked up stuff and was annoying and stupid. And essentially what I think should have happened instead was that part didn't happen when it did in the movie. I think that what should have happened is there should have been a 15-minute thing that explains it in a little bit more detail, not dialogue heavy, but showing it like when movies show things. That's how it should be in visual media, and not show, not tell, and if they would have done the final part, the ending of the movie with Kinger becoming a part of, not Kinger, with Kane becoming a part of them, understanding them, wanting to be around them and enjoy the things they enjoy so that they can enjoy the things that he enjoys, to become a part of the crew. I think that part should have been when the analysis of Jax happened. So switch those two parts, and then what should have happened is Kane, after all the different what is it called? The part where they kind of it wasn't a slideshow, but I can't think of the wording, where they were showing that he was participating with them and doing things. After it showed that, instead of ending, what should have happened is now at the end, Kane's hey, I figured something out that I can do. It's cool that we can all do things in this world that we're building together now. And with the abstractions, they're at the end, they're kind of like whales in a tank where they're swimming around. They seem happy and content. The stage that they're in, they're a flowing form of consciousness or emotion or whatever they're supposed to be, a new life form. And I like that. Instead of just being a scary thing, they're more majestic and sweet and interesting and just exist with no pain type of deal, from my perspective. So when Kane comes up to them, what Kane, at the very end, after the stuff that happened with him, or they're rebuilding everything with him, he should be figure out something I can do. And he transports Pomni. He's I want to know what we can do with this, and I want your help, Pomni. The reason why he chooses Pomni is because she's the one that first stood up to him. She's the one that caught on to everything so easily. She's the main-ish entity of the show, the cover. And so he takes her, not with himself, Kane is not there at all. He plops Pomni into the abstraction of Jax, and she's hesitant, and then she goes through the exact same scenario with Jax, and then when, like, at the end, when, like, the light gets super, super, super bright, at that point, either she realizes that he's in, like, a happier state, or, like, a more content flow state of a different being that's an abstraction, not a scary horror, and tells the rest how it is. And then at that point, Kane can allow Jax to come back for a little bit, allows Jax to go into the mind or the essence of Ribbit's character as the abstraction, and he walks through hers, and does the exact same thing, but instead of being forgiven by Pomni, he apologizes and, like, explains what happened through his trauma, why that ended up happening that way. And I know Ribbit knows that information, but she could never, like, get him to open up. But now he's opening up to her. She's receptive because she appreciated and she felt comfortable with him, and that's good. But then Jax and her and Kaufmo and any other abstraction, they showed the 3 core ones, but, like, obviously the dog guy, I think it was Mike, it was probably him, they're all swimming around, but they choose to be abstractions now, and they, like, enjoy just swimming around as, like, whales of, like, emotion or whatever consciousness that they are. And that's how the movie ends. That would be sick. The way that they did it in the movie, I still liked it, but I don't like the forgive immediately kind of thing. I don't like that. There's been a lot of times in series, and I never even fully watched this one that's My Hero. I don't think that's a good show at all. It's actually, like, atrociously bad. But the one thing that's, like, extremely ridiculously bad is the fact that, like, the fire dude, I don't know the names because I don't give a shit about the show. The fire dude, that was, like, the second hero next to Plus Ultra guy. Him having multiple kids, like, to create, like, the best hero is, like, disgusting. And then being, like, a bad father and, like, hitting your wife or hitting your kids or traumatically fucking up your family. I hate that bullshit, and I don't like that is essentially, like, what they were trying to do. I think it's ridiculous. And if that happens to someone in their life, in reality that we live in, for yourself, my buddy, like, had a take on this too, for yourself, forgiving them is fine for what they did. So you can move forward, process your trauma, get your perception out there, and say how it's not okay, but you're moving forward from it. But, like, just thinking, like, oh, he's good, so that means, like, what he did isn't that bad. No, that's retarded. It's not okay at all. So I don't think, like, Jack should have just been, like, immediately forgiven just because he did, like, fucked up shit because he was fucked up by his parents. And could have very much related to Ragatha, which he did back in the day, but not as much as Ribbit. And then, like, Ribbit opened up to him too. And then, I mean, pretty much everybody is, like, even Zuval and Gangle were, like, opening up at different points in the show. And typically, from my experience, psychology is the most important thing on the planet, in my opinion. Emotional processing through people that have similar experience and that are around you and want to share that to move forward is, like, the best possible move. So the movie was really good, but it definitely could have been better. I think that's all that I have for right now to talk about, to be honest.